Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Hope you are fine and doing well. During the previous lecture, we learned that the division of India into two separate states of India and Pakistan was an indispensable act, and meantime a remarkable achievement for the great leader. As he said in his speech, that the extraordinary thing about the creation of Pakistan was that it was achieved in a very peaceful manner. Her people did not resort to any violation or destruction or destructive measures. This impossibility was made possible through a very slow process of meditation and action. Today, we proceed to the next paragraph of this lesson, which goes as under. He told the Constituent Assembly that dealing with our first function in this assembly, I cannot make any well considered pronouncement at this moment. Pronouncement, as you can see over here, means announcement. But I shall say a few things as they occurred to me. The first and the foremost thing that I would like to emphasize is this. Remember that you are now a sovereign legislative body and you have got all the powers. It therefore places on you the gravest responsibility as to how you should take your decision. The first observation that I would like to make is this. You will no doubt agree with me that the first duty of a government is to maintain law and order so that the life, property, and religious beliefs of its subjects are fully protected by the state. So in this paragraph you can see that the Qaid told the Constituent Assembly that if we talk about the first function, the first thing today, it would be without any consideration. He told them that I have not well considered this speech. I am making this speech as the ideas come to me. As he told them, I cannot make a well considered pronouncement. Well considered, well thought out announcement cannot be made at this moment. And he told them that a few things as they occur to me, as they come to my mind. As they occur to me simply means as they come to my mind. And the first and the foremost and the topmost of all these things I would like to emphasize, I would give importance to, is this one. He told them that you are a sovereign legislative body. Sovereign legislative body, a body that has got all the powers to make laws for a country, is called a sovereign legislative body. And you have got all the powers. So it becomes your gravest responsibility. Gravest over here you can see extremely serious. Gravest means extremely serious. So it becomes your extremely serious responsibility how to take your decision. So the power lies in your hands how to take the decision. The future of this country, he told them, lies in your hands to take the decision because you have got all the necessary powers which can make you powerful. The first observation that I would like, the first thing I would like to say over here is this. You will no doubt agree with me, and he told them that all of you are bound to agree with me because the first duty of any government across the world is to maintain law and order. The law and order situation is the bottom line of a government so that the life, property, and religious beliefs of its subjects, of its public subjects here means public, the masses, so that the property, life, religious beliefs of its living people, common people, public are fully protected by the state. So, moving on to the next paragraph, he tells the Constituent Assembly, the second thing that occurs to me is this. One of the biggest curses from which India is suffering. I don't say that other countries are free from it, but I think our condition is much worse. And that curse is bribery and corruption. That really is a poison. We must put that down with an iron hand, and I hope that you will take adequate measures as soon as it is possible for this assembly to do so. The next thing that strikes me is this. Here again, it is a legacy which has been passed on to us, along with many other things, good or bad, has arrived this great evil, the evil of nepotism and jobbery. I want to make it quite clear that I shall never tolerate any kind of jobbery, nepotism, or any influence, directly or indirectly, brought to bear upon me. Whenever I will find that such a practice is in vogue or is continuing anywhere, low or high, I shall certainly not countenance it. So he tells them in this paragraph that the next thing that comes to my mind is that India is suffering from a very, very big problem, and that is a big curse. And that curse, I do not mean to say that only India is suffering from, other countries of the world are also suffering from, but our condition is much worse. So he told them very clearly that I do not mean to say that other countries are free from it, but I think our condition is much worse. And that curse is that of bribery and corruption. Bribery means to make money illegally from public office. And corruption, is violation of merit at any level, is called corruption. He told them that this kind of practice is a poison for any society. Poison over here means the most dangerous thing for any society across the world. So we need to put that down. We need to crush it with an iron hand with strictness. We should not show any soft corner in our heart to such practices if they are going anywhere in our country. And he encouraged them that I hope you will take adequate measures. Adequate over here means proper measures, steps as soon as it is possible for this assembly to do so. So he told them next that the next thing that strikes here means immediately comes to my mind is this. Once again, it has been inherited. Legacy means inherited, which has been passed to us along with many other things, good or bad. We have received many things from our ancestors. They may be good and they may be bad. But one thing that has been passed on to us is this great evil, the evil of nepotism. Nepotism means to show favoritism. Jobbery. Jobbery is, you have read in the first paragraph, to get money through illegal means using a public office. So he wants to make it quite clear that he shall never tolerate any kind of jobbery, nepotism, or any influence, directly or indirectly, brought to bear upon him. So he will not tolerate it. If he came to know, he told them that anywhere in the country is going on the practice of jobbery or nepotism, I shall not tolerate it. Whenever I will find that such a practice is going on somewhere, is in vogue means in practice, is going on anywhere, low or high, whether it is at low level or at high level, I shall certainly not countenance it. Countenance means forbear it. I shall not tolerate it. In this paragraph, the great leader is going to justify his judgment, his decision regarding the partition of India into two sub-states of Pakistan and India. Let us see how does he justify it. I know there are people who do not quite agree with me with the decision, with the division of India and the partition of the Punjab and Bengal. Much has been said against it, but now that it has been accepted, it is the duty of every one of us to loyally abide by it and honorably act according to the agreement, which is now final and binding on all. But you must remember, as I have said, that this mighty revolution that has taken place is unprecedented. One can quite understand the feeling that exists between the two communities whenever one community is in majority and the other is in minority. But the question is whether it was possible or practicable to act otherwise than what has been done. A division has to take place on both sides. In Hindustan and Pakistan, there are sections of people who may not agree with it, who may not like it, but in my judgment, there was no other solution, and I am sure the future history will record its verdict in favor of it. And what is more, it will be proved by actual experience as we go on that it was the only solution of India's constitutional problem. Any idea of a united India could never have worked, and in my judgment, it would have led us to terrific disaster. Maybe that view is correct, maybe it is not, that remains to be seen. All the same, in this division it was impossible to avoid the question of minorities being in one dominion or the other. So, if you have listened to the paragraph carefully, the Qaid tells the people that there was no other way to come out of this problem. The only workable plan was to divide this big subcontinent into two separate states of India and Pakistan. He told them that there are some sections of the society who are not happy with my decision of dividing this subcontinent into two separate states of India and Pakistan. But time will prove that my decision was at the right time and at the right place. So, if we look at the paragraph and we look at the current situation that is going on in India, so time has proved it is a right decision taken by the great leader. As you can see, what is happening, what is going on in India, what atrocities, what oppressions are inflicted upon the Muslims, the Muslim community in India these days. They are in miserable condition. So, if we discuss the difficult words in the paragraph, the Qaid tells them that the division of India and the partition of Bengal has been much discussed by people from both sides. I mean to say, from India and Pakistan, it has been come under much discussion. But now, once the decision has been finalized, it is binding on all to accept this. It is compulsory for all to accept this. It is duty of every one of us to loyally abide by, to follow, to accept it, and honorably act according to the agreement. So we should follow this agreement in honorable manner, which is binding on all of us. Binding here means compulsory for all of us to follow. And then he tells them that you must remember, Smart revolution has taken place as we read it in the previous paragraphs. This big revolution, this big change that has taken place in the subcontinent is unique with respect to its character, because the Muslims did not resort to any violation or destructive measures, and they achieved it through a slow process of how to do and then how to act. So he tells them that the feelings that exist between two communities, when one community is in majority and the other is in minority, I think it should be clear to everyone what feelings, what kind of feelings. They can never be of the feelings of love. They will be of hate and prejudice. The question is, he tells them, whether it was possible or practicable to act otherwise. There was no other way to come out of this problem, as I told you. Division was the only solution. And then he tells them that there are sections of people, we have already discussed it, and then he told them that time will prove it. So his decision has been proved to be a right one by the time. In the same paragraph, as you can see, the great leader has highlighted the problems of the minority. He told the Constituent Assembly that the minority problems could not be overlooked. They are the part and parcel of this society, of this state. They should be treated at par with the majority living under the same government. So I hope you got the main points as presented. Do forward your question queries if you carry any in your mind. Thank you very much.